Hi everyone, welcome back live in person and online to Games Done Quick at PAX East. If you are watching right now online and you're enjoying the stream, consider subscribing for exclusive emotes, ad-free viewing, and access to chat during replays. You can also always support the stream by sharing the Games Done Quick channel with your friends. All right, we've gotten an excellent run coming up, and I will not keep you waiting for any longer, so I will pass this off to Hallow. Let's play some Beastieball.
Hello, I'm Hallow. I run this game far too much. Beastieball.
Beastieball.
I'm here with Zonk, who also runs this game less than me, but plays probably a lot more PvP.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing an all-ranked coaches run. There are 8 ranked coaches in the game, which means we have to go beat all of them before the Crown Series. And that means we're going to explore a whole lot of the map. And yeah, this is a volleyball creature collector, sports anime RPG.
Yeah.
Is that all the words we need to throw in there?
That's a good number of words.
Okay, cool. Either way, I'm ready to go, so we can start explaining the run.
Let's just go.
Sorry, go. Time. Sorry.
We're going. It's happening. All right, this is a tutorial fight. This is where the game teaches you the basic mechanics. There are 4 grid spaces on each side of the net. You have 2 beasties. You need 2 beasties to play. Various attacks can go into either forward-facing lines or sideways lines. And if it lands on an empty line, you will score a point. Otherwise, you are trying to reduce the opposing beastie's stamina to 0 with your attacks. You have an attack turn and a defense turn.
I got an early access phone call.
Yep, there are random phone calls. This game is
that one I have
access.
never seen before on a new file.
Fascinating. All right.
So hit the button, I guess. Either way.
Yeah, so...
We are going to do a quick water warp here. If it worked, there we go. Yep, just beautiful. Unlocking that campsite. The early game is going to be a lot of going around the map and gaining access to different areas so that we can travel around faster later on.
While also gaining some XP for our beasties.
Yes, that beastie did just run up the wall.
Yep, there's some jank. We got some nice little skips already.
Yep. So we're going into an area that a casual player will almost never access this early in the game. But since those beasties, the one that just ran up the wall, are called Guardians, but they're extremely skippable in many different ways. Some of them you can just jump past, but even if you can't jump past it, you can usually just forfeit the fight and then run past them. This, however, is a coach. This is Jack, who is apprehending us and is going to block our path here. There is technically a way to skip this, but it's a bit faster just to get the experience.
Yep. So we're going to see this a decent bit during this run. We are going to lose repeatedly. Losing gives you experience and is sometimes the fastest way to get experience against certain fights. So we'll do this.
Doesn't get you as much experience as winning, but it's definitely faster because, as you've noticed here, our Kitchik is wiped.
Yes.
Wiping is the main way we'll be scoring points. It's also the main way our opponents will be scoring points, at least for the first 15 minutes of the run.
Yes.
After that...
They won't be scoring very many points at a certain point.
Exactly. And when they do, we'll be moving our beasties out of the way so that they score points.
Yes.
Either way, some basics of this game. There are 3 types in this game. Each beastie has a both attacking and defending stat in each of body, mind, and spirit. These don't have any type matchup charts. It's simply that each beastie has a stat for each of these that sort of expresses their personality and the way they approach playing the game. Beasties are really, really intricate creatures.
Yep.
You'll note they all have idle animations. Well, the ones that we've seen so far all have idle animations.
More are being added.
Yes, this game is in early access if we haven't mentioned it yet. So there's still some unfinished art and areas that are going to have a lot more overworld stuff added into them, but the story is fully playable, and it's really, really fantastic.
It's an unbelievable game for early access. Oh yeah, we haven't introduced Sprecko yet. This is Sprecko.
This is Sprecko.
You might have seen Sprecko on screen as well.
Yeah.
Very important.
They're here to help.
Yep. We have the next phase of our starter, and so now we can actually win this fight.
Yep. Here's the first instance of I have to pay attention to a flowchart.
There are so many flowcharts in this, so we'll mostly let Hallow lock in on the flowcharts.
So we're clicking a sideways move here, which gets us a free point if we know the opponent is not going to run into the front lane, which in that case they didn't.
Yes, there is some level of randomness to how the enemy BCs will behave, but there's also a decent amount of consistency, and we have some lovely modding tools.
Yes. Huge shout outs to our resident modder, Jay Davis, who is an invaluable resource to both like the speedrun community and the PvP community.
All right, and GG.
Yep. Anyway, we're out of bounds now.
Yeah, so we can also do that in this game. There's a few good places. You'll see another one.
Yeah, want to see me do it again immediately? This one's a little more in depth. But we're just gonna dip around here so we don't have to do some other movement. And we're also grabbing some items that we're going to sell for money, as well as an item here called an exercise video, which we're gonna pick up a total of 9 throughout the run. And those we can use to get our main beastie an extra level, which, as you would imagine, is very important. There are a couple of very precise kills. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick skip here and throw that. Oh, nice. I made it, but unfortunately
then you walked
I fell
off
down.
anyway.
So I would have been able to skip this fight more quickly had I not fallen down, but oh well. I lost probably like 2 seconds there. And there's an example of you can just run past them.
All right, best beastie on screen, that's a Trat.
That's a Trat. Trat are very important. Literally the perfect creature. I will not take any dissenting opinions.
Yes. Although, we should maybe also introduce our beasties, what we're using. We're using...
sorry, I just had to jump on a tree there.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Again by accident.
Maybe not the best time. And now we teleported back over there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Our beasties on screen. So we use Kitchik in this fight. In this run. It is by far the fastest starter, as its attacking stat is, I believe, the second highest of any beastie in the game.
Yeah.
And it gets an ability which further boosts its damage. So it's very good for just one-shotting things, which, as you can imagine, in speedrunning is good. We will be in a few minutes doing a grind, after which point we will basically one-shot most things until like near the very end of the game.
Yeah. So there's definitely a few very difficult and lengthy flowcharted fights that we need to worry about.
Right at the end.
But a lot of this game is routed so that we can kind of just run around the map, unlock things, get levels, and then beat up most fights without having to take very much time.
Or even to really think at all, honestly.
Yes. A lot of the times it is literally just click your big attack, click your big attack, click your big attack, okay, you win.
Yep. This is a combination menuing and parkour game.
It absolutely is.
When you run it at a top level.
Definitely seeing a lot more of the parkour right now, but...
Yes. We'll get to the menuing, don't worry.
We'll get to the menuing.
So we are once again gathering some warp points. If you ever see me walk into a screen and then immediately walk out, just assume there was a warp point there we unlocked.
Yeah.
We're also going to grab this one up here for later and heal in the meantime.
Yep. The game's story, should maybe mention a little bit, revolves around these, well, really revolves around this little guy, Sprecko.
Yeah.
And there are mushroom colonies that they have in a symbiotic relationship with. So we have to go and research those, or help the Beastie Research Society research the mushroom colonies, in addition to getting our rank up through playing in the league, which we will do very easily in this category by defeating every single ranked coach. There are faster ways to do that, of course, and any percent we only have to fight one ranked coach, and it's the hardest one.
But also no one runs any percent at the moment.
Well, yes, I mean, you ran any percent.
Other people ran any percent too when the game came out, and then balance patches.
Yes, that is one of the
early access, by the way.
Unfortunate issues of being in early access. Well, it is wonderful for many reasons. The game keeps getting better. It does mean that the speedrun route has to change every single patch.
Yeah, there was actually a patch about 10 days ago, which I thought was going to really mess up the speedrun, and it turns out it barely affects it at all. There are like a couple fights which are harder, but we should be good.
Right.
Anyway.
That was our first rank coach that we saw.
Yes. So we just challenged Kaz to a match, and we're going to leave him there waiting for us for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, well we tried. We went in there. There just wasn't anyone to watch. So,
Yeah.
you know, he didn't really feel like playing.
All right, Spreckle learns a move here which will be relevant later for one very specific reason. Anyway, we are now going to once again, go to a late game area that we should not be in yet. I'm going to
More out
make
of
sure I
bounds.
don't run into anything on this screen, because if I do, I actually cannot forfeit the fight. So we are going to see the first instance of me making a beastie disappear by watching a replay while inside of its radius. And you can see it doesn't reappear until I leave its radius, which is super nice because it means I can just walk past them.
Right. And now,
And I'm in the floor.
very nice. First toy clip.
I made that look very quick and easy. That's because it is very quick and easy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
it
are
actually
now
is. That's not a hard trick.
We are now going to challenge the hardest ranked coach in the game because we're here and we might as well. And we also need to go in here to sell some items.
Yep.
We've collected a whole lot of items that we can sell for money, and we are going to need a lot of that money. Either way, we get to watch a fight that we are not participating in here. Between Valerie, who is the 7-time reigning champion of the Beastieball League, and Dominic on the right, who is kind of an old head. And by all means, probably one of the scariest fights in any casual player's playthrough.
And in most of the speedruns, too.
In most of the speedruns, too, and any percent, yeah. Thankfully, we've had a route that works for him for a while now. My map was not zoomed out, and I was very confused. Either way. So, here, we get to the grind. I'm going to very specifically hit Sabretooth here so that I can get immediately knocked out. Let's talk about experience points for a bit. We picked up an item earlier that we went out of our way for called a super athletic spray, which is going to double our experience gain for, I believe it's 5 minutes of overworld time.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes in air quotes.
Which means that if we're repeatedly entering a fight and losing, we get like 1 second ticked off of that.
Yes.
And we are going to make huge use of this. Worth noting, most fights in the game, you are not able to do this against. Most fights, once you win or lose 1 point, the experience you get from future points will deteriorate. However, some story-important fights, like this one with Jack, who is our self-proclaimed rival, give boosted experience, and also it never decays. So we're going to use that for just a couple more fights here, while it's still the most efficient method of getting experience. But our experience will very slowly get lower as we get to be a higher level than the opponents. So after this fight here, when we hit level 26, I am going to go start losing to other beasties, which are way above my level. And we can only really efficiently get experience from them losing to them maybe once or twice. But once we get up to a closer level to them, like we're getting 226 so that we can get more from them and thus lose less fights.
Yeah, there's a kind of weird, like, up and down curve where you get the most experience by losing to beasties that are just a little bit above your level.
Yeah, but you'll notice these ones are at level 37, and the ones we're about to start losing to are at about level 42. And that gives us pretty good experience. We're actually going to work back to 1,000 views here and go through another late game area backward.
Yep. So this is the place where we did a clip just a few minutes ago. And you're definitely supposed to come through the other direction.
Yes.
But all of the parkour and puzzle challenges are going to be...
pretty trivialized.
Yeah.
Aside from one.
Yes.
Come on.
One particularly annoying
right.
one.
It's worth noting you saw me just stop there rather than run into that beastie again. That's because we can give up serve, and it's a lot faster because it means we don't need to input a serving move. We can just end defense and lose.
Yes.
And also... it means that the opposing team won't have to take any actions, which you'd have to wait for. So it ends up being like nearly 10 seconds faster for every single fight.
Serve versus counter serve is a very big deal in this game in general. The game really likes giving you serve in the single player mode if you can. If you're in PvP, you tend to really like being on counter serve.
It depends on the team, but yeah, usually counter serve.
If you're in a speed run, you want to be on serve if you're winning and on counter serve if you're losing.
Exactly.
All right.
few more losses to go here.
Yep. We're also picking up a few items in this area. It's a nice little overlap. We are picking up a star jersey because we are actually going to recruit, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we are actually going to recruit a third beastie. You can have up to 5 in your team, but obviously, you know, it's speedrun. It's slow to pick up all those beasties and train them up and everything, but we still need a third one. It will help us out in several important important fights, including the hardest ones.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really dropping the ball there for a moment. Anyway.
But that was the star jersey we just picked up. That will let us recruit a beastie at any level. We use that to recruit a very high level beastie.
I believe just about the highest level you can recruit anywhere before the post-game area.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll notice we're going into a lot of screens that don't really matter. That's just to fight Guardians because the experience is just so much better. We get, I think, like, at least like 1.5 times as much from losing the first time than the second time. But that said, we are going to lose to an upcoming one twice just to get us as close to level 36 when Ostracized will metamorph one more time into Cast Elite as possible. And yes, that does really matter.
Yes, we want to, I mean, hopefully make sense why we really want to get the final form of our starter beastie as fast as possible. We will also pretty quickly be getting a metamorph into one of the final forms of Sprecco.
Yeah, fairly soon.
Yeah. In a little bit, which will be a very powerful support beastie to help us eke out a little bit of damage and a little bit of sustain for
genuinely probably the best beastie to support us in a speedrun. And we just get it for free. Yes, I am going this way. We're going to jump on the back of a bench in another tree again. Hope you didn't miss jumping on trees. That, I think, will be the last one, unfortunately. But one last loss here to another high-level team. And we hit level 36, so Ostracized is going to, at the end of this match, metamorph into Cast Elite, and I'm going to turn a couple pages of my notes.
Yes, this is a heavy notes game, thanks to all the
There are a lot of notes. I don't need to look at all of them, but especially the flowcharts in the late game are very precise, and if I mess them up, the run might end.
Well, okay.
End is a strong word,
I think the worst case scenario really is losing a couple minutes.
Yeah, but if you don't get the flowchart the first time, sometimes the AI will behave differently because you're at a higher level.
Yeah.
When you're doing slightly more damage, and we don't want that because we have flowcharts.
Here we have some lovely bounce pads.
Yeah, this is the worst screen in the game.
Devs really had fun with this screen.
All right, let's see if I can get the skip. Nope.
Unfortunately.
That one's real tricky to get, but you can actually sometimes get a precise enough jump to just sort of run past it and outpace it.
Okay.
Either way, this is the second worst part of a screen in the game.
This screen sucks.
The camera is so bad. With that said, now that we have our final form of our starter, we can actually go start winning fights. The first one of these is against Reese here, who we've seen a couple times very briefly so far. He's one of the main side characters in the story. And he's the one researching these mushroom colonies. There's a giant rowdy beastie, like, in front of this colony. They seem very upset.
Well, now they're
someone
gone.
should probably calm them down, but it's not going to be me. Because we had
Sprecco,
just
are you ready?
Sprecco, are you ready? You got this. I know you're working through some changes. This is Iligus.
Oh no! This is elegant.
I right-clicked a little too early.
It's all right, it's fine. All right, Sprecco, you ready? You ready? I know, it was hard. You weren't ready last time.
You got this time. I believe in you. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. All right, so that's like 15 seconds wasted, but that's fine. It's funny.
All right, we now have Iligus.
Yep. Oh, I did not mean to learn that yet. In any percent, we do want that now, but I will need to change that in a moment. Anyway, we're going to warp out now. And I'm going to fix that move real quick. There we go. This is Gene. We need to beat him for an item he gives us that lets us access one of the ranked coach fights. Actually, the first one we're going to do in a couple minutes.
We do the rank coaches in a very weird order in this.
A very weird order, but very specific because we want to make sure that they are not scaling so that we can't one-shot them, basically.
Yeah. It's very particular because they all scale based on which other ones you've beaten.
Yeah. There we see the first instance. That Jellybat was right in my way, and I did not react to it in time. We see our first instance of going to a gym. Gyms are where you can train your beasties. They're super useful for, like, really any casual player, but PvP players especially. And also, of course, speedrunners, because we just gave our Castlete, like, 30 more points in body power, which is, of course, its main attacking stat. And that's going to allow us to deal a whole lot more damage than we were already dealing.
Very big numbers on the screen right now, and these are, I mean, they're not quite our level beasts.
Yeah, we are, you know, about 15 levels above
We're beating up some high schoolers, you know. They wanted to see the power of a real ranked coach, even though we've only won one ranked match.
We've only won one
life.
ranked match, and you didn't see it because we skipped the intro.
But these high schools, you know, they think we're really cool.
Yes.
Because we've gone around losing to random beasties a whole
They
lot.
also think they're really cool. But unfortunately, after we kind of bludgeon their teams into the ground, they are going to instead think we are really cool and give us some exercise videos. In fact, 3 of them, which is why this fight, which is very not required, is incredibly worthwhile.
Yes, it's a lot of XP.
Anyway, we are finally back to the going places and doing things stage for a bit.
Yes. We got to go down south to the Chroma Sea.
I turned around too quickly. I've been doing that a lot lately. Either way, here's Kakeliko Beach. We are going to jump past that Guardian, which is pretty precise.
That's the...
Glad to hit that.
The scary version of that skip.
Yep. We gained a warp point on this screen, which I'm going to go to very momentarily once I pick up these spa salts, which are going to allow us to change Castlete's trait in a bit. The starters have a default trait. There are 3 starters, which obviously focus on each of the 3 different types, body, spirit, and mind. They all have a default trait, which sort of boosts their damage if they're low on stamina, which is very useful in, like, the early game, but will start to not matter anymore once we actually get to...
yeah, thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary, for flicking Sting into the right beastie rather than the one that loses us 10 seconds. It's like a 50-50 shot which one they choose to make tired there, and if we're tired, we can't serve. Which means we sort of have to wait a bit. Anyway, we're heading into the club here, and we're going to splash some water on our face and then try and get into a private area. And for that, we have to beat the bouncer in a match. And I am trying desperately to click on this castle and failing, but that's fine.
Yeah, I hear this is a pretty normal experience for those who go to clubs.
Yeah. And now that we've beaten the bouncer after immediately taking it outside, we're going to go back in and meet up with the rank coach. He can call us bro, that's fine. And he's now on the dance floor, and we're going to dance really fast.
Yeah, maybe flashing lights warning.
A little bit of a flashing lights warning. Okay. One of the best cutscenes in the game. The other one is also in this club. But you won't get to see that one.
The flashing lights are over.
I'm going to use a smoothie that we picked up way earlier because we walked right past it, and revive Castlete because they were actually very tired there after dancing extremely hard for a few minutes. So we needed them to get back up. Iligus, you'd note, is not healed, but this is the first instance of that really not mattering.
But, like, you know, it's fine. Iligus can just sit there.
Yep. We are, you would note, 21 levels above the opposing team, which means this is a very easy fight to win. Again, the order of ranked coaches is very important based on scaling. It's also somewhat done just to reduce movement. Yeah, that's the first of 8. You'll note we're almost, like, probably a third of the way through the estimate. I don't remember. A little more than a third of the way through the estimate. We've only beaten 1 so far. That's going to change very quickly.
Yes.
And by very quickly, I mean it's going to change very quickly in a bit.
Yeah, we got a couple more things to collect.
If you remember the fact that we need to visit some mushroom colonies, we're going to mostly be doing that first.
Yes.
We have that main quest here to do.
Yeah.
And you'll note Iligus is back up now. Whenever you exit a ranked coach fight, you actually get healed, which is super useful because it means we don't have to go places and heal very often.
It is very useful, and if it wasn't true, would maybe change the optimal any % route by like a lot.
Yes.
Because you would want to rely on, you probably want to rely on the low HP traits rather than overwork.
Yes.
Anyway.
Or those traits would be much more reliable.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we haven't explained overwork yet and why we use those spot
Yes.
faults. Overwork is Castlelite's hidden trait, or recessive trait, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
And it basically means all of our attacks do 20% more damage, but we lose 15 stamina every time we attack.
It's a multiplicative bonus too, so
yes.
there's a lot of ways to get
Well, it was
to boost your
in place.
to boost your attacks. Most notably, I don't think we ever mentioned this, being in the front row, being in the front lane boosts your attack power, and being in the back lane boosts your defense. So that's a very, very key just like element of the strategy that doesn't matter that much in the speedrun because we one-shot a lot of things, but is critical for any casual player and PvP.
I mean, it's extremely important because we're using Launch, which is a move that Castlelite gets slightly before metamorphing into Castlelite. We, once again, just vanished a Beastie, and we're going to do it again in a moment, by the way. But being in the front row means we do more damage, and we can also block. So Launch is like a fantastic move to have as a speedrunner because, first of all, it's a very strong serve, and second of all, it gets us to the front row, so we can do more damage the next turn.
And it also just deals a ton of damage.
Yeah.
It's maybe just the best move in the game in general.
Yeah, pretty much. The debate in the PvP scene is whether that or Sneak Attack is like the best move.
And Sneak Attack does the same thing, and also notably
Slightly the same thing.
Is a move learned by Iligus.
Yes. This Iligus currently would know it if we had let it learn it, but we don't need it at all.
Yeah.
We will be using two singular mind attacks with this mind attacking beastie during the run.
All right.
And instead usually using spirit moves.
Ready for the pirate show?
Yes. This is Marcy. She runs she's not like super into the league anymore. So she's a bit of a theater kid, or theater adult more accurately. So we're gonna take place in the pirate show, and she runs a special type of Beastieball here called Captain's Mode, which means I am clicking too many times, which means that you actually need less points to win a match, but you must knock out the first Beastie on the team in order to actually score.
So our like kind of sideways points, they're called no-touch points, where you just kind of
won't do anything.
They don't do anything. And
we
neither
also
does knocking out the other Beastie.
Yes, so that's relevant in this match, but we can just see the first instance of a block here. Blocking gives us an easy receive, which means we don't have to volley the ball, so it's faster.
Yes.
That'll be showing up a lot more later because it'll allow Iligus to start using some support moves. There are different move types in this game. There are attacks, there are volleys, there are defense moves, and supports. And all of them are very useful in their own ways because, well, yeah, you can use them at different times. It's a good game. It's a really fantastic game. We actually had to hit the Beastie that wasn't the captain there because it used a move that made it noisy, meaning it redirects all attacks to itself. We'll see that a few more times throughout the run.
Yep. Very powerful.
I'm going here.
Condition.
Okay, anyway, that's 2 out of 8 ranked coaches. We're now going to finally recruit that third Beastie we've mentioned, and that is going to be a Frufolx. I use an attract spray to make sure it's at the highest level it can possibly show up at. We're going to give it serve as well. And each Beastie in this game has a unique recruit condition. Frufolx has a recruit condition of healing 5 times. So Iligus has a move called Clear Field, which can heal both of our Beasties on the field, thus counting for 2. And also Refresh, which is a volley move that heals Castlelite for 15, notably the same amount as you lose from every attack with Overwork.
Now we have a Frufolx.
Yeah. I'm going to change Iligus's moves now because Clear Field has moved past its usefulness. And just change Frufolx's moves because it's going to be a secondary attacker in a couple fights. Mainly, it's another Beastie that can survive some hits. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's also notable that It is a spirit attacker, so it uses a different attacking stat, which makes it good in some situations where our opponents have very strong body defense, but maybe not so strong spirit defense. So that's like, it's a big aspect of the game.
Yeah. We're going to head up here to get our Platinum sponsor and challenge another ranked coach that we are going to leave for, okay, we're only leaving Celia for about like 10 minutes or so.
Yes.
But we're going to warp out now, if I remember how to do that, and head off to finally beat our third ranked coach.
Yeah, so our third ranked coach, which is, well, a lot of players' last ranked coach, because you don't have
my last ranked coach, I didn't beat this ranked coach until after beating the game.
Same here.
You don't need to beat every ranked coach to beat the game, and this one is hard to find if you don't remember the dialogue that tells you how to find them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to throw this ball at a wall and then sprint into it if my beasties would get out of the way. And kick it into that wall so it disappears, saving a very small amount of time.
Yeah, we got some cool parkour in this segment.
Yeah, speaking of cool parkour, we have the coolest trick in the room.
Coolest trick in the room. So Dev so graciously patched back into the game.
Yeah, this was accidentally patched out in the recent update, and we were like, hey, we recall you thinking this was really cool. Can we have it back, please?
So, yeah, we watched a replay. And now
I am going to fly through the air with my phone.
Oh,
I messed it up, I think. Yeah.
That's all right. Try it again.
It's really tricky because I think I opened menu a little too late there. You need to open and close the menu really quickly. So what I'm doing is like basically rolling my fingers across a couple keybinds. And I also need to account for some quirks of the Windows version of the game that mean if you use certain keybinds like exiting a menu with a button other than the open menu button, it actually kills your movement keys. So there we go. That was very close to not working, but we made it. And now since I watched a replay, the game sees my last safe position as in the air, and when I get out of that Guardian's radius, it spawns me in the air, and we can skip this wall here, which has a fight.
Yeah, it's got a big fight. All right, we also got a nice item there.
Yes, one more exercise video, which we are going to use later at like the most effective time. Anyway, there's a Beastieball center on the roof of this building, and we're very important, so we're gonna go swap provokes to the second slot for experience reasons.
And also to avoid relationship drama.
Yes, this game has relationship drama between beasties. Beasties can form relationships. We don't actually engage with that basically at all during the speedrun anymore, or at least this speedrun.
Yeah.
But
it can be very helpful. It can also be very not helpful.
Yes. The reason why we even changed this in the first place was because we realized that ooh, we got lucky again with the sting.
Nice.
We realized that if we use Illigus less, then Castellate and Illigus's relationship will progress less, meaning that we don't see any drama that will have some in-match effects occur that can really mess up what you're trying to do. Yep. Either way, a little bit of a gauntlet of coaches here, which we are going to reach the top of.
This is the Beastieball Academy, which is a secret school for Beastieball.
It's incredibly secret.
And it's led by a grandma who really doesn't like us very much.
Yeah, Callisto isn't a fan of us. I don't know, play the story, it's great.
It's a wonderful game with wonderful story.
If you've ever wanted a very old person to hate on you for things you didn't really do, play this game.
I don't know if that's the best pitch.
It's probably not. But either way, you'll note we're doing 101 damage to this beastie here, the Conjar. There's going to be a lot of instances of that where we're just high enough level to knock stuff out. So every single one of those exercise videos we picked up matters.
Yep.
Anyway, that's our third rank coach. We're going to immediately head off to our fourth as we see a fight there, which will be a very big issue if you take more than an hour to get to this point.
Yes, there's some kind of interesting little like speedrun Easter eggs / bonus features where the devs, well, that's a very random fight.
Yes.
It is. This game has very little RNG in it.
Yeah.
The moves have damage is fully consistent.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. That fight makes damage random
Yes.
for the bit.
Imagine if there was randomness in my creature collector, like in the damage in my
Come
creature
on,
collector
who would
game.
do that? That seems just like terrible game design. I don't know.
There is some randomness in this run. It's mostly to do with what the AI does in some specific circumstances. We'll see a very small example of that in a moment. But,
Yeah. But if you get there before a certain time, which I think is like 45 minutes or an hour, one of the characters will actually just break the fourth wall and be like, "Hey, you're a speedrunner,
hey,
aren't you?
you're in the middle of a speed run.
We don't want to ruin your run."
Exactly. It's fantastic dialogue. Anyway, this is Elena. This is not her ranked coach match. This is her meme team, which she's running for fun. You can see her Twitch chat on the screen. So we're gonna beat that real easily.
But her real match will still have Twitch chat.
Yes, and she's gonna get really bored, and I'm gonna get stuck in this zip station because I skipped a cutscene. That just happens sometimes. Eventually, they'll figure it out. Anyway, 4th ranked coach of the run.
Yes.
Heading into Elena here.
Elena also listens to her Twitch chat.
Yes, so I'm going to pay a slight bit of attention and see who they're attacking. They're attacking Ilias, so I don't need to do anything on defense. If they're attacking Castle Lead, I should block. Save a little bit of time there. Unfortunately, we don't win this fight in 3 turns because the Grozada in the back here there uses a move called Mighty Yell, which makes it noisy. But after that, we just one-shot everything.
Yeah, Mighty Yell really does waste multiple turns in this speedrun.
Yes.
Against people who'd otherwise one-shot.
Anyway, that's our 4th ranked coach. We are now a high enough rank to be qualified for the Crown Series, so we're actually going to go and do a number of things that lead up to that without actually entering. And the reason for that is we don't want those fights to scale. If we do them now, they don't scale other fights.
Yes.
But other fights will scale them, so we get them out of the way as soon as possible. We're also going to get a whole bunch of phone calls from people as they're concerned about various things.
Yeah, story's happening.
Story is happening in this game. The first one of those is Reese, who we've seen a bunch of times. He's having kind of a moment.
Yeah. We don't have to get into
we
all that.
won't get into the story spoilers. But bad RNG. By bad RNG, I mean I lost like 2 seconds, but you know. Either way, we can't one-shot either of these 2 beasties, but we can one-shot the other 2 in the back, so this fight is real easy. The next fight, though, is going to be a little more interesting in that we see the first instance of Iligas's ability to set traps on the field be very relevant. Traps deal 8 damage per stack, and you can stack up to 4 of them. Oh, I am going the wrong way. This is not a ranked coach back. I just needed to go to my room real quick.
You know, there's a lot going on.
I haven't been home in a while. Anyway.
Take a little break.
This is our last fight against Jack for the run. We are going to see an instance of block here. Whoa, hold on. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't even realize that was possible. I think that's extremely unlikely. It only wastes us 1 action because we only need to set up 1 extra layer of traps here.
Okay.
But you'll note we're doing slightly less than 100 damage here. Ooh, hold on. I think we should be fine. Yeah, we still have 2 layers up. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Okay, we did it.
I was a little concerned for a moment.
Slightly off flowchart there, which is always scary, but...
I believe we're not off the flowchart. I just never see that anymore.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to beating ranked coaches now that we've beaten those fights. I need to heal real quick.
Yeah, we did friendship stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I do need Ilias still in the front for this one. This is our 5th ranked coach, and we are going to very quickly blitz through 3 of them.
Yes. Now we're going back to the ones that you're supposed to beat
very early
in the game.
They've scaled somewhat. You'll note that they're level 36 at the moment, but that is not enough to save them from a level 49 Castle Elite with a vendetta against pretty much everything.
Is that true? Does this Castle Elite have a vendetta against everything?
I don't know what its vibe is. I haven't asked.
You should check.
We can do that later.
Beasties all have a specific vibe, which is just randomly chosen.
Anyway.
Oh, and now we're playing tennis.
Now we're playing tennis. Have you ever thought volleyball shouldn't have volleys? We're playing tennis mode now. Our Castle Elite actually got moved off the field there, so this is going to be slightly interesting. But Oh, I hit the wrong beastie. Hold on. Are you going to shield? Oh, you're going to shield. Hold on. Oh, I can't careful drop. Never mind. Okay, I'm wasting time. Unfortunate.
It's fine. Oh, Tough can't redirect. Well.
Tough can't redirect, but I can't knock it out, so.
Oh, right, yeah. That's actually a recent change. There's a lot of PvP balance stuff.
Anyway, now we win. Wait, do we win? Who's switching out? Oh, I can just careful shot. Okay.
Just careful.
Off flowchart. There we go. We got it. We got it.
All right. These are matches where it's not so big of a deal to be a little off flowchart.
Yeah. These are not the ones that matter. All right. 6th ranked coach coming up. I need Frufolks back in the front. I also need to heal, and oh my gosh.
All right.
Getting stuck is really bad. I need to actually finish setting up this fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kaz has been waiting for us to find the 3 most bored people in town for half an hour.
Yeah, we literally just like walked in to challenge him like immediately, because you can basically do that. And then,
yeah.
There we go. Now we can finally.
Every single ranked coach has so much character. They all have side stories, which can actually not all yet. There are a couple that haven't been added yet, but
so pretty much all of them.
They're such good characters.
Yeah.
This game has like incredible writing throughout. All the beasties are incredible. The music is incredible. I haven't mentioned Lena Raine did the soundtrack.
Yeah, Lena Raine soundtrack.
Yeah.
Some incredible bangers, many of which we're not even getting to hear for more than 2 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you're just beating up the coaches too fast.
Anyway, that's 6 ranked coaches. We're going to go to our 7th and then pause a little bit before the 8th.
Yeah. After this, we're going to be entering. Well, this one's easy, but after that, we're going to be entering the hard fights.
The hard fights.
And it's pretty much just hard fights for the rest of the run.
Indeed. We have routed very carefully to have this one be the last one, because it is the easiest to one-shot with the Castle Elite.
Yep. Celia is the lovely scientist.
Head of the Beastie Research Society, who has given us a platinum sponsorship very graciously.
Are
a bit of a pushover if you have a Castle Elite, which is significantly higher level than their team, yes. Anyway, we have one more thing to do before the Crown Series that isn't beat a ranked coach, and that is, well, as we like to call it, fight God.
Yeah, we got to beat God at sports.
Yes, I need Iligas back up here, and I need to change their moves for a moment. That is not the correct move to change. I need shield and refresh, correct? Yes. Okay.
All the beasties moves are good?
Yep.
All right. So,
this is the only rowdy beastie we actually fight. You're expected to have beaten at least 3 by this point. But this is Shloom. They are significantly higher level than us. And you'll note they have 400 starting stamina. So we're going to set up something here with a move called Stinger that's going to start draining that over time in just a few turns and get us a whole lot of damage toward the end of the fight.
Yep.
You'll note we only need to win one point in this fight, whereas Shloom here needs to win 3. So we just need to wear it down quickly so we can calm it down.
That's the rowdy mechanic. The rowdy beasties are also always noisy, so you can't do any shenanigans with the no-touch points, sideways stuff.
Yep.
You just have to get through all their stamina.
All right, do we get the fun version? We don't get the fun version. We get the fast version.
Damn, I hate going fast.
I hate going fast. Okay. Anyway, you'll note that Shloom just lost a lot of stamina. Oh. Hold on.
Hold up.
Is this bad? I think. Okay. All right. Well, I get to do the walk of shame because that did not go to plan.
Oh no.
What did I do wrong? I did something wrong.
That looked basically like the right fight.
Yeah, I wonder if Frufolks is like slightly lower level, but I just didn't get enough damage off for some reason. Anyway, we need to walk all the way back here to heal because there's a blackout and we can't warp anywhere.
Yep.
So going back to it, hopefully this doesn't mess up our flowcharts in the Crown Series too much. But it may be a little scuffed. So going back in and doing basically exactly the same thing again.
Yep.
But this time better.
But this time, yeah, just simply don't lose.
Ilgus still should be attacked here because it should still go down.
I did a little. Okay, this is looking good. Proof comes in.
All right, we got the fun version this time. Let's go.
All right.
Castle Lead is tired, so...
it was all so that we could get the fun version of the fight.
It was all so we could get the fun version, where since Shloom is, you know, going to wipe itself in a moment, we can actually just click free ball twice. Free ball is a play you always have access to, which just deals 1 damage. But if Shloom is taking 100 damage per turn, we can just free ball real quick.
Yep.
And win that way, which is very funny.
All right.
Do I want to get me out of here? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Am I a high left level already? I am. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm actually not going to need to use the exercise video because I gained an extra level. And this is Dominic. Dominic is the hardest ranked coach fight in the run, but very consistent in
We got all the reasons
this
set up.
route.
Okay.
So, we are going to click launch into Jordan here, who is not going to take very much damage from it, but we know that Bo here is going to shield. And thus we can... Oh, I didn't change my moves.
Oh,
hold on.
Yeah. All right, good we noticed. You might notice
Everything's falling apart.
all of the ranked coaches, you probably didn't have time to look at all their beasties' names, but they have very good naming schemes for their beasties.
This one is a bunch of very legendary athletes.
Yes.
Anyway, the nice thing about a ranked coach is if I haven't lost a point yet, I'm not messing up my flowchart at all by just forfeiting.
Yes.
So here we block and we set up 2 layers of traps, and that is going to be just enough damage to knock out this Supalero as they tag in.
Beautiful.
A beastie with very high body defense, which we were just able to basically take out in 1 hit.
Dominic is not only difficult because she is a very high-level coach, he's also difficult for this set of beasties because he has really good body defense.
Yes. All right, we are going to knock out a beastie as they tag in again here.
Yeah.
And you'll note that Castle Lead is actually going to go down. That's by design. We are going to lose a point here and do a little bit of repositioning to manipulate where we're going to see some attacks.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow Folks to just barely knock out this. Ooh, I'm a slightly higher level. I hope that is not going to change how he reacts to this.
Let's hope.
Okay, we're good.
All
We're
right,
good.
we did it. Let's go. All right. Yeah.
That fight is very precise, and if it doesn't go exactly according to plan, it falls apart.
Every Beastieball speedrun is routed around that fight.
Yes. I didn't need to heal here, and yet I went in anyway.
In any oh no.
Let me out.
In any percent, if you beat that coach specifically as your first ranked coach, it puts you at the rank you need to enter the Crown Series immediately. So we do it because it's faster than beating 4 different ranked coaches.
Buying as many healing items as we can
we just
there,
spent like
and entering
$1,500 on electrolytes. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Our BCs really want Gatorade, I guess. But either way, we're in the Crown Series. We only have a few fights left in the run. This fight has the most complicated flowchart, so I am going to lock in. We are not going to use a defensive move here. We actually lead Folks so that it's more consistent as to who gets attacked on this first turn. All right. We see Pearl, which is the most likely outcome. Okay. Illigus at high HP. So we are going to thump into Pearl, and it's Goldie. Oh, shoot. I should have used that exercise video.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, am I doing a little improv?
I know exactly what I'm going to do here, which is just tag in Folks and lose it. Why'd you do that? That's concerning.
Okay.
This is bad.
Well, you're gonna inspire.
Beastieball runs at events have a habit of going quite wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's
okay,
partially just the nature of the game. You can, like, if things go, like, because speedruns are just routed so tightly around these.
Thankfully, I do know I can do this here.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Exploiting the AI to get a free point.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, that is a ton of the routing, is just knowing how the AI is going to work.
Ooh,
definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, and hopefully that should let us survive.
I think. Yeah.
We're good. Okay,
Like,
we are home free.
Good.
We lost 1 extra point, but we're good. Thankfully, having a lot of layers of traps up just by being passively set by Illugus means that we can sort of knock out anything in the back there. And that is the first of the Crown Series fights, and by far the hardest one.
All right, GG.
So I'm glad we got through that.
That extra point gave us an extra little bit of XP, which will hopefully help catch us up to parity too.
I don't really think it matters for the last two.
Okay.
It might matter for Gene, but either way. This is Barnes. He's been our Sports King proclaimed rival. Nope, I don't block anymore. That's an old flow chart. Barnes has a whole lot of options there, so you'll see the in-game timer pause as the AI thinks about what it wants to do. But he's gonna like keeping his beasties in the back row a lot, so we're gonna win all 3 points in this match with a careful shot. Notably, Castlete is still angry due to the last shield. Angry is a status, which means you can't use any moves other than attacks. And that means that we aren't able to shield again. That was a recent PvP balance change because it was just... It was... Shield was kind of really good.
Shield is good. I don't think we've talked specifically about what shield does, but you can probably figure it out.
Yeah, you take a fourth as much damage and won't get knocked out by an attack unless you're already on 1 HP. Either way, so that's Barnes. And
Scott a third time.
That fight actually got significantly easier with the new patch because previously his team looked quite different. Anyway, on to Gene. We are actually going to use a different attacking move on Castlete for the first time in a very long time, and that is Vigor Beam. Vigor Beam is an attack which does a whole lot of damage. I hit the wrong beastie. Okay. That should be fine. Yeah, okay, we still see the same thing.
Okay.
And we will knock out Foucault. Okay. That doesn't matter. I was very concerned for a moment, but we're good. Vigor Beam does more damage the more stamina you have left. Oh, right, that's why this is bad. Okay. All right, are you going to rainbow again? I think you're going to rainbow
again. We're in improv mode again.
We're in improv mode. I think we should be fine.
I mean, for me, as a PvP player, this is like the most fun part of the game.
I have rivals. Hold on, does this do anything? Okay, are you going to block? You're not going to block. There's no way you block. Yeah, okay.
Okay, nice.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Just lost a little time.
Yup. Watch one more time here. And I am going to have to probably make a bit of a guess as to what's happening. I think that it's going to be more ideal. Yeah, okay. So it is absolutely Illigus getting attacked here, so we should be good. Okay. Gene, despite being like one of the last fights in the game, is actually often quite a bit easier than some of the others. Vigor Beam doing more damage. Okay. I have 3 or 4 traps that won't quite be a kill. Ooh, no, you're not gonna block here. You're gonna switch. I'm overthinking this.
GG.
All right. So that's Gene.
That is
the last fight that matters. Slight spoilers for the end of the game. This last fight, it does not matter whether you win or lose, so we are going to lose it as quickly as possible.
We are going to lose it with a move that is giving our opponents more damage.
Yep, we are going to pull this beastie to the front row. Brosliden here is a very strong body attacker, and this Frufolks does not have very good body defense, and it's going to get lowered even further, so we can just lose immediately.
All right.
And now I get to mash, and thank you all for coming out to watch this.
Yeah.
Because the run is just about over.
In a bit. Once we do a bunch of mashing.
All right. We have to lose a whole lot of points here because all of the friends we made along the way are going to show up and complain about how just grossly unfair the league has been lately. It's, I don't know, would you like some anti-capitalism with your creature collector? I certainly would.
So true.
Anyway, time is going to come up after we get to 11 points lost, and I go into the locker room and talk to our rival.
All right, rank.
Great.
soon, and
Time. All right. So that's a 51:02. Not like a super competitive run because a lot of things went wrong, but that's fine. If I didn't mention it already, I got an unrecorded world record in personal best last night of like a 46:26 in game time. Which I am very mad about because I was doing it on someone else's laptop.
Yes.
And no one will ever get to see it. Either way, this is Beastieball. I love this game so much. Go buy it. Support a fantastic indie dev team.
Absolutely.
This game is made by the same team behind Chicory and Wandersong. So if you played either of those, you'll have a very good idea of just how fantastic this game is going to be. This game means the world to me. It came out like in early access like 16 months ago, 16 months more or less. I've put 1,000 hours into this game.
God, yeah, I've put quite that many, but I've played this game a hell of a lot, and
it's real good.
The community is just incredible.
Yeah, it's still small, but it's growing and it's really passionate. So
people
feel free to
really love this game.
Yeah, like once you get this game and play through it, like hop into the Wishes Unlimited Discord server and go meet everyone there. On that note, I do want to dedicate this run to someone, and that is a member of the community who recently passed away, who we knew as WW or the Wacky Worms. Probably one of the top 5 PvP players of all time. Really beloved community member. Gone far too soon. His just like incredibly warm and opening presence led to so many people getting more into PvP because he would just head over to the PvP search channels and find a match against whoever was around to play. And everyone had fantastic, it was so good to know him, and we miss him a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, with all of that said, thank you all so much for coming out. I'm going to toss it back over to the hosts. And have a good rest of your convention.
Thanks again so much for that super fun, super fast run. And those notes were extensive and came in a lot and really helped out. That was super cool to watch. All right, thanks everyone for being here. This is Games Done Quick at PAX East.